The Phantom Menace opens at midnight.
Place in the Star Wars line.
People started lining up over a month ago.
All right, get out your lightsabers.
You just may have noticed that Star Wars, the latest episode, opens nationally at midnight tonight.
If Darth Vader can be in Fortnite alongside Goku, Travis Scott, and Peter Griffin, what's stopping me from putting him in CS2? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a Star Wars themed inventory I made for all of you lightsaber twirlers out there. Now you're going to have to get a bit imaginative with some of these items, as obviously there are no actual Star Wars skins in CS2. But knowing half of you probably pray for a 5 out of 10 to talk to you at a bar, there's no need to always chase perfection. A name tag and some creativity will go a long way here, just like how you turn off the lights and ask your friend to put on a wig. Before we get into the video, these take about 40 hours to write and edit, so please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy. As I know most of you have short attention spans and will get bored halfway through the video, I'll start off with the knife, glove, agent combos first because they're the most interesting. For the T side, we're going to go with a mace windu combo, which is a pair of leather hand wraps, a phase 2 bayonet doppler, and either the elite trapper Salman, Osiris, or Magnus the BC agents. For no particular reason. I mean, just look at this combo and look at Mace Windu. Enough said. Moving on, we have our CT side combo, which is Darth Vader, and we'll need a pair of sports glove nocts, a bayonet ruby, and either the Michael Cyphers or Chem Has specialist agent skins. Now Michael over here looks absolutely nothing like Darth Vader, but he does have the best sleeves to match the Darth Vader aesthetic. If you want an actual agent to look like Darth Vader while sacrificing the black sleeves for a slightly bluish color, you can go with the Chem Has specialist here instead. I know, Darth Vader makes more sense as a terrorist and Mace Windu as a counter-terrorist, but for the sake of the agent skins matching up, I had to switch things up here. You can also swap out the bayonets for any other knife in those same phases, but I just think the bayonet is the most lightsaber looking knife in the game. Moving on to weapon skins, we'll start off with pistols. First up is a skin for the only CT pistol in the game, because P2000 users are genuinely worse for the community than any hacker ever. But we have the USP-s Han Solo. I think the look of the USP-s is the closest thing in CS2 to Han Solo's iconic pistol. Maybe it's a slightly anorexic version of it, but the color scheme is definitely there with the business class skin. Up next for the CTs, we have the 5.7 Duel of the Fates, which is a berries and cherries with 4 boom trail glitter stickers applied. This skin represents the 3 lightsaber colors from the iconic Duel of the Fates scene. I found this a bit surprising, as usually when there are 3 lightsabers on my screen at once, they're a medium tannish skin tone. Moving over to the T-side exclusive pistols, we have the Glock Kyber Crystal. For this skin, you could either use the Twilight Forest or Emerald Gamma Doppler depending on which color crystal you would want. Up next for the T's, we have the Tech 9 Yoda, which is the Tech 9 Groundwater with 2 quick peek stickers and 2 taste bud stickers applied. If you have cataracts and squint your eyes really hard here, you could somewhat make out Yoda with this one. Moving on to the pistols you can use regardless of your affiliation to a terrorist organization or government agency, we have the P250 Hyperspace. This is just a P250 Supernova, but by renaming it to Hyperspace, you can claim it's a Star Wars reference. For the dual Berettas, we have the Mandalorian, which is just a dual Berettas twin turbo, as the color scheme of this gun matches Mando's perfectly. I was originally going to name it after Mando's ship, but I can't really trust CS2 players not getting racist every time they read that name. And to end off the pistols, we have the Desert Eagle Duel of Mustafar, which is a Desert Eagle blaze with 5 winding scorch stickers to represent the colors of Anakin and Obi-Wan's lightsabers during the fight. And I chose the blaze because, you know, it was kind of hot there on Mustafar, but I think the winding scorch foils here just look really cool with the blaze regardless of this being a Star Wars reference. Now going to the mid-ranged weapons for all you sub 5k premier rated players, we're starting off with a gun that rhymes with my nickname in prison. The MP9 Venator Class Destroyer. This is just an MP9 airlock, but works perfectly as the color scheme of the MP9 here matches that of the ship exactly, and the little panels on the gun look similar to the type of panels that you would find on a Star Wars-esque spaceship. On the other side of the spectrum, no, not that one, for the T's SMG we have the MAC-10 Carbonite. This is just a MAC-10 Silver. The boxy shape of the MAC-10 here is similar to the boxy shape of frozen up Carbonite, and what might shock you all is the color here is pretty similar too. Moving on to a skin that will have hairy middle-aged and overweight Middle Eastern men foaming at their mouths, we have the PP Bison C3PO. The PP Bison brass is actually a big liar, as it does not look like brass at all, but more like gold, and wouldn't you know it, C3PO is completely made of gold. For the last SMG, we have the P90 BB8. which is simply just a P90 Asimov, but I think this fits perfectly. Not only are the colors identical, but the P90 is kind of the most ball-shaped gun you can get in CS2 if you really think about it. And I imagine P90 players rolling around how BB8 does when they run and gun onto B site. For the first shotgun on this list, we have the Nova Death Star, which is just a Nova Mandrill. I mean, just look at the skin and tell me it doesn't seem like it could blow up an entire planet. But the color scheme and panels on this skin are very similar to how the exterior of the Death Star looks, so I think it's a perfect match. Next is the sawed-off Chewbacca, which is represented by the sawed-off copper with 5 mustache foil stickers. I really wanted to incorporate Chewbacca on this list, but sadly there is no large hairy brown creature in CS2 if you don't count Furious. So the brown color scheme with mustache stickers for a hair effect is the best thing I could work with. I spent almost 2 hours trying to make a Chewbacca craft, but they all came out looking like straight ass. For the best and only usable shotgun in the game, we have the XM Darth Maul, which is just an XM red leather. Now, every actor to play Darth Maul has been white, but after some calculations, only about 30% of Darth Maul's face is painted black, so I don't think this is considered racist, but honestly they're cutting it really close. Oh, sorry. Back to the CS2 skins. Yeah, there's red on both ends of the gun and Darth Maul has a 2-sided red lightsaber. The color scheme also matches. That's about all. Now for the M249, next up, we have the Negev Admiral Akbar, which is just a Negev lionfish with trap on it. The trap sticker is just a Travis sticker with a pain sticker at the end covering the rest of the letters. The color scheme matches here, and the reason that Admiral Akbar is so known is because of his iconic "it's a trap" line, so that's why we have the word trap on the gun. For the final category of guns, we have the rifles. First up in this list is the Galil Stormtrooper, which is very fitting considering the average player's aim, but this is just a Galil tuxedo, which is a good representation of the Stormtrooper's colorway. I mean, they're both white and black. I don't really need much neuron activation to think this one up. Moving on from one terrorist gun to another, in the sense that you are a literal terrorist if you use this, we have the FAMAS Ahsoka. Jokes aside, the FAMAS is actually good now that they buffed it, but to represent Ahsoka, I have chosen a FAMAS halftone wash with orange stickers across it. This is a good representation of Ahsoka's color scheme, from her skin tone to whatever that thing is on her head to her clothes. Though I know most of you wish her clothes were off, you little freaks. Now moving on to the main rifles, we have the M4A1-s Binary Sunsets. This is just an M4A1-s fade with a low fade percentage so you can see a good portion of all 3 colors, and a Mongols Copenhagen 2024 holo and clown nose sticker representing each of the 2 suns. The yellow is the desert sand of Tatooine, with the purplish pink being the color of the skyline seen in the scene. But if you're a sane individual who does not want to spend $400 on a skin, you could recreate this with just a Glock Moonrise and a clown nose sticker. Yeah, I know it's a moon and not a sun, but you're the broke one, so you can't really be picking and choosing here. Here are also a couple other M4A1-s skins, just in case. We have the M4A1-s Endor, which is a Boreal Forest, an M4A1-s Sarlacc Pit, which is a Hyper Beast, M4A1-s Jedi Knight, it's just a knight, and the M4A1-s Hoth, which is the Stratosphere. Moving on to the M4A1-s's Forgotten Brother, we have the M4A4 Heavy Battle Droid, which is just a turbine. I know this one seems kind of like an ass pull, not like the rest of the list isn't, but I was struggling to find anything good for the M4A4. I also came up with the M4A4 Jakku, the Desert Strike, and the M4A4 Endor, which is slightly more on theme than the M4A1-s version, which is the Jungle Strike. Forgetting about the M4A4, which many people do anyway, we can move on to the AK-47 R2-D2. This is just an AK-47 Vulcan, because the colors of R2-D2 are black and blue, and so is the Vulcan. But if you want some other options for your AK, we have the Hoth, which is the frontside Misty, the Death Star's Core, which is the Point Disarray, and I actually really do like this one, and another C3PO, which is the Gold Arabesque. But enough with these unskilled rifles. Let's move on to the real primaries of CS2. The AUG and SG-553. I put hours into finding the right skins for these 2 weapons, as I knew they needed to be. Yeah, so we have the AUG Ewok and the SG-553 Royal Guard. For the AWP with ADHD, we have the SSG-08 Tatooine. I think the Death Strike fits pretty well here considering the desert theme, and according to the Wikipedia, Tatooine has 2 native species of spider, so having another arachnid species such as a scorpion would be very fitting. Sorry. And for the last gun on this list, we have the AWP Emperor Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine has purple lightning hands, and the AWP Lightning Strike has, this might shock you, lightning and is purple. So I think this is a perfect combo. Besides this, Palpatine is actually really similar to a former professional CS player in how he waited for someone to go fully unconscious only to have them wake up at his house. But if this is too much money for you, there's also the AWP Sarlacc Pit, which is just the AWP Hyper Beast. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you don't care for the whole loadout, maybe a couple of skins here caught your attention and might go into your main inventory. Please subscribe. Bye.
Subscribe, 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 subscribe.